Harley Earl was probably the most influential man in American automobile design.
A lot of people share the spotlight, but don't kid yourself. Bill Mitchell was the driving force.
Everybody will light up when you say Zora Arcus Duntov.
They were big, they were loud, and they were fast.
No way to introduce the 2010 National Corvette Museum Hall of Fame? Maybe not, but when you think about it, isn't a little competition the best way to improve a platform? Our first inductee for 2010, Grady Davis, helped to establish the Corvette as a serious race car. And for confirmation on that, we're going to have to go to the dark side.
Zora Duntov had a tough job. But Grady Davis stepped in the early days of the Corvette and, in my opinion, saved the company. It wouldn't have existed because the sales weren't there. A lot of executives wanted to kill it, but Grady stood behind Zora, and they worked together for years, won a lot of trophies, established the Corvette image, and he, more than anybody that's ever raced a Corvette, should be in the Corvette Hall of Fame.
We all know and love the early 60s of Corvette racing. And Grady was a big part of it. As a matter of fact, if he wasn't around, I can honestly tell you it may not have happened. Grady was absolutely 150% behind it. Very successful business person. He worked for Gulf Oil Corporation. Again, as we all know, you see the Gulf symbol on the Corvettes. There's a reason for it. It was because of Grady Davis.
In 1958, Grady became Administrative Vice President of Gulf Oil. Although Grady was passionate about cars and Corvettes, it wasn't until a chance encounter that he took a serious interest in racing.
Back in 1960, Grady Davis had a Corvette, and he had it parked on the street. A person by the name of Donna Mae Mims actually put a card on his Corvette, and when Grady came out to get it, he noticed the card, read it, and it told him to join a certain club. That certain club was Corvette Club of Western Pennsylvania. So, certainly he went out, joined the club, became instant friends with Don Yanko. Yes, the Don Yanko, the man that owned the dealerships, the man that owned the race teams, the man that ran Corvette Club of Western Pennsylvania. And they became great, great friends instantly and really progressed from there.
By the time Grady was promoted to Executive Vice President of Gulf Oil Corporation, his interest had turned into a passion for racing. And he was in a unique position, able to combine the needs of his employer with his love of the track.
Grady ended up getting his license with the regional. Then he went in, got national, was a very successful racer. However, working for Gulf, the high-ups didn't see that as a very big perk. They didn't like the fact that he could go out and get hurt. They knew that where he should be, and he should be the person steering the racing side of it. And certainly he did just that. Throughout his racing career, he had plenty of victories. However, once he started to manage the team, it became very, very successful.
So, with Yanko, Dick Thompson, and unofficially Zora Duntov, Grady cobbled together the country's first corporate-sponsored private race team, and they all took it very seriously.
Well, my relationship with Grady was, first I won races, and with him that was quite important. He wasn't out there just for the fun of it. He wanted results, and he got results.
At the time, Grady Davis was campaigning 3 cars in SCCA racing. Sometimes the interview itself becomes a story, and as I was handing Mr. Davis photos, period photos, I had one photo that I was actually very curious because I did not know the story. And evidently there's been a mishap because we've got several Gulf personnel on the second level of the car carrier lifting bodily the front fender of the 57 Corvette because the tire is now resting on the roof of the number 163 Dick Thompson, the Fast Rabbit car. All of a sudden his expression clouds over like a storm rolling in. And I didn't say anything. He looks at the photo, he's deeply lost in thought, and then he says, "I'll be damned." And I pause, waiting. "They never told me." And I hand him the second photo, which is the roof. Unfortunately, there's just a little scuff mark on the roof of the 63. So now we know it's a no harm, no foul. And Mr. Davis, "They never told me." And then just as quickly as the storm came in, the storm rolled out and he smiled ear to ear. And one of the reasons why I like that story is a good manager, a good captain of industry has to be two things. He's got to be a stern taskmaster, but he also has to have a sense of humor. And in that brief moment, Grady Davis displayed those two wonderful qualities in just a totally spontaneous moment.
By the end of the Grand Sport program, they won 4 national championships, 2 runners-up, 3 regional championships, and more than 215 trophies. And if that's not enough to earn him a spot in the Hall of Fame, here's one more reason.
Well, that's where he should be. That means a lot to me. And I'm so glad he's been picked out for that, because he's one of the obvious people in all the people I knew in racing that should be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor our first inductee into the 2010 National Corvette Hall of Fame, Grady Davis.